So today starts the first day of our new unit where we're going to be dealing with a lot of circles today. So we're going to start off actually with a circle dictionary because there are a lot of terms in this unit that I want to make sure you guys understand. So first word being the circle, right? This is a set of points that are all equidistant from the center. Oops. So over here, there's my center. I'll call it point P. So I could call this circle P. The next part of a radius, I'm sure it is familiar to you, is a radius. And a radius is a segment, right? It's a line with endpoints. And the endpoints are in the center. One is in the center, one is on the circle. Again, I'm using the same picture from earlier. That was point P. The radius would then just go to the end, and we can call that point A. Why not? Next, a chord. Chord is kind of like a radius, but both endpoints are on the circle. So it's still a segment. So, looking at a circle, a chord would look like this, not going through the center. Ends on, both ends are on the circle. And the reason I was specific on that not going through the center is because if it goes through the center, that means it's a diameter. So, a diameter is a chord that goes through the center. So earlier we called our center point P. So my diameter would go through P. Oops, I didn't draw that very good. Let's try that again. And both endpoints would be on the circle. So we'll call it AB. Next word is secant, and I actually do not want to go over this one with you guys because we will not be doing secants this year. So I don't want to confuse you guys. We're just not even going to cover it. But we are going to be doing tangents. And a tangent is a line, so this one has no endpoints because it's a line that intersects the circle at exactly one place. That's a weird one. So if this is my circle, I'm going to try to draw it. My tangent would look like this. It's a line, so arrowheads. It touches, I'm going to say it touches right there at point Q. And it's a line, so there's many points on a line, right? So just like that. Last word on this page is the point of tangency, and that's the point where the tangent line touches the circle. So again, there's the tangent, it's lines, I'm going to do all the things. So the point of tangency is right there at Q. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next page, but make sure you're pausing as you need. Next term we're going to be talking about is a central angle. And this is a angle that comes out of the center, so an angle comes, and the two sides of this angle are going to be the radii of the circle. So this is what it would look like. Again, basing off the center point P. So then if I drew an angle, hopefully with straighter lines. So I could call this angle APB, for example. Inscribed angles, very similar, but this is an angle that comes off the circle. And instead of both sides being radii, both sides will be chords. So in this case, boom. That angle, that vertex of the angle is coming off the circle itself. So I can call this angle ACB. Okay, next we have an arc, which is a portion of the edge of a circle. So and we use two endpoints to name it. Also, arcs have a symbol, just like we have the congruency symbol or the similarity symbol. In this case, the symbol for an arc is going to be, I know it's like a little redundant, it's going to be a little picture of an arc. That's what your symbol looks like. So, for example, in the picture, right, I'm doing a portion of the circle from A to B, so I could call this arc AB, and I put the symbol on top of the letters. So then when talking about arcs, we have two different types of arcs. We have a minor arc and we have a major arc. Minor arcs are arcs that measure less than 180 degrees, so less than half the circle. And for this one, you use two letters. So for example, if I were to put 3 dots on this circle right here, I'm going to call these dots A, B, and C. We can see that BC is obviously less than half that circle, so we would call this arc BC. And we know it's a minor because it's less than half that circle. So then major arcs, they measure more than 180. Degrees. You use 3 letters to name. That's how we know the difference. So again, if I were to put those same dots on this picture, and then I went from B to A to C, I wouldn't call it BC because I would think it's a smaller side, so I would name it in the order I touch the dots, BAC, with the arc over it. Lastly, we have a semicircle, which is an arc that's exactly 180 degrees, exactly half a circle. So when it would use the diameter to do that, so we would see a diameter. Center was always point P. For example, that would be arc JKL. We would also use 3 letters for a semicircle. Okay. Lastly, I want to give you 3 formulas, some of which should be familiar to you. Area of a circle is pi radius squared. Circumference is 2 times pi times radius, or diameter times pi, depending on what you're given. This one should be new. Arc length, I'll use a cursive L to talk about it. And we're using some letters here, so x times c divided by 360. C stands for circumference. E. And x is the degree of the arc we're talking about. Okay, hopefully you have all your notes down and you'll be ready for our next class.